I helped a single mom in the rain. The next morning, she knocked on my door. Rain hammered against my windshield as I drove home that night. It had been one of those long, exhausting days. All I wanted was a hot shower, something to eat, and sleep. Then I saw her. A woman stood on the side of the road beside a broken-down car. She was completely soaked, trying to shield a little boy with her jacket. At first, I kept driving. But when I looked in my rearview mirror, I saw the child shivering. I couldn't leave them there. So I turned my car around. I pulled up beside them and rolled down my window. "Hey! Are you okay?" The woman looked nervous. Her hair was wet, her clothes clung to her from the rain, and she held her son tightly. "Our car stopped," she said. "I called for help, but they said it'll take at least an hour." I looked at the little boy. "Mom," he whispered, "I'm cold." That was all I needed to hear. "Get in," I said. "I'll take you somewhere warm." She hesitated. I understood why. A woman alone with her child had every reason to be careful. So I smiled and said, "There's a coffee shop 2 minutes from here. It's crowded, warm, and dry. You can wait there." After a moment, she nodded. "My name is Emma," she said as she opened the back door for her son. "I'm Daniel." The little boy climbed inside and said, "I'm Noah." I handed him my jacket. He smiled. "Thanks, Mr. Daniel." That tiny smile somehow made my entire miserable day disappear. At the coffee shop, I bought them hot chocolate and sandwiches. Emma tried to stop me from paying. "You've already done enough," she said. "It's just dinner. But you don't even know us." I looked at Noah, who was happily drinking his hot chocolate. Maybe that's exactly why I should help. For a few minutes, we simply talked. Emma told me she was a single mom. Noah's father had left years ago, and since then, she'd been working 2 jobs to keep everything together. She didn't complain. That was what surprised me most. She spoke about her difficult life with a quiet strength. "Some days are hard," she admitted. But then I look at him, and I remember why I keep going. Noah looked up at her. "I love you, Mom." Emma smiled, but her eyes filled with tears. And for some reason, I had to look away. Eventually, the tow truck arrived. Emma stood near the door, holding Noah's hand. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't have to." She reached into her purse. "At least give me your number. I want to pay you back for the food." I laughed. "You really don't have to do that." She smiled. "Please. Otherwise, I'll feel guilty." So I gave her my number. I watched them leave and thought that was the end of it. Just one rainy night encounter. Just one small act of kindness. The next morning, someone knocked on my door. I was still wearing sweatpants and making coffee. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, I froze. Emma was standing there. She looked completely different in the morning sunlight. Her hair was dry, and she wore a simple dress and a warm smile. In one hand, she held a coffee. In the other, a paper bag. "Good morning," she said. I stared at her. "Emma?" She lifted the coffee. "You forgot your jacket." I looked down. She was holding it over her arm. Then she held up the paper bag. "And I brought breakfast." I couldn't help smiling. "You drove all the way here just to return my jacket?" She looked embarrassed. "Well, Noah also wanted to see you." From behind her, Noah suddenly appeared. "Hi, Mr. Daniel." I laughed. "Hey, buddy." Emma handed me the coffee. "Can we come in?" That was how it started. We ate breakfast at my kitchen table. Noah told me everything about dinosaurs, superheroes, and how his schoolteacher was kind of scary. Emma laughed so hard that coffee nearly came out of her nose. And I realized something. My house hadn't felt this alive in years. After they left, I expected Emma to disappear from my life again. But she didn't. A few days later, she texted me. "Thank you again for helping us. Noah says you're his rainy day hero." I smiled at my phone. Then I replied. "Tell Noah heroes don't usually make terrible coffee." Her answer came immediately. "Good. Because your coffee really was terrible." That made me laugh. From that day on, we kept talking. A few messages became long phone calls. Long phone calls became coffee. Coffee became walks. And slowly, without either of us planning it, Emma and Noah became part of my life. But Emma always kept one wall up. I could see it. Whenever things started feeling too close, she'd pull away. One evening, we were sitting outside a small restaurant while Noah played nearby. Emma became quiet. "Can I tell you something?" she asked. "Of course." She looked down at her hands. I wasn't completely honest about why I was so nervous that night. I waited. She took a deep breath. Noah's father didn't just leave us. Before he left, he made me feel like trusting people was a mistake. My heart sank. Emma continued. "So when you stopped your car in the rain, I wanted to say no. I wanted to tell you we'd be fine. But you didn't." She looked at me. "No. And that's what scared me." "Why?" "Because you were kind to us. For no reason. And I'd forgotten that people could be kind without wanting something in return." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I said quietly, "Emma, you don't owe me anything." Her eyes filled with tears. "I know." That was the moment I understood. She wasn't afraid of me. She was afraid of hoping again. Months passed. I never rushed her. I never asked her to define what we were. I simply stayed. For Emma. For Noah. One afternoon, Noah had a school event. Emma had to work late and was worried she wouldn't make it. "Can you go?" she asked me. I smiled. Of course. At the event, Noah walked onto the stage. He looked nervous. Then he spotted me in the audience. His face lit up. Afterward, he ran straight toward me. "Did you see me?" "I saw everything. Mom couldn't come." "I know." He hugged me. Then he whispered something I wasn't prepared to hear. "I'm glad you stopped in the rain." I couldn't speak for a second. Later that night, Emma called me. She had finally finished work. "Did Noah have a good time?" "He was great." There was a pause. Then she said, "Daniel, thank you for being there." "I told you, you don't have to thank me." "No," she said softly. "I do." The next morning, there was another knock on my door. I opened it. Emma stood there. But this time, she wasn't holding my jacket. She wasn't carrying breakfast. She simply looked at me. "I've been thinking," she said. "That's usually dangerous." She laughed. Then she stepped closer. "I spent years believing that if I depended on someone, they'd eventually leave." I stayed silent. "But you didn't. Emma. I know we haven't known each other forever. And I don't know what happens next." She took a breath. "But I know something." "What?" She smiled through tears. "That rainy night, I thought you were helping a stranger." I looked at her. "And?" She whispered, "Maybe you were bringing me home." Then she kissed me. And in that moment, I thought about how strange life could be. I almost kept driving that night. I almost convinced myself that someone else would help. I almost left a woman and her little boy standing alone in the rain. But I turned around. And the next morning, she knocked on my door. At the time, I thought she had come back to return my jacket. But now I know the truth. Sometimes, one small act of kindness opens a door you never expected. And sometimes, the person standing on the other side of that door changes your life forever.